Hi everyone, we're going to evaluate the definite integral using techniques of integration. We're going to evaluate over the interval 0 to pi divided by 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this looking like something over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is let u equal sine of t. Therefore, du equals cosine t dt. If you substitute that, we're going to have to change our bounds. So let's do that real quick. So if u is 0, then we're going to get sine of 0 equals 0. So this is still going to be 0. But if we have pi over 2, then u is going to be, so we have u equals sine of pi divided by 2. So if t is pi over 2, that's going to be 1. So we're going to evaluate it from 0 to 1. Now let's do our u substitution, and that's going to give us 1. Well, this is actually du divided by square root of 1 plus u squared. Or you could just write this as like 1 and then du over here. Now it has this form. So we're going to go ahead and use substitution on that again and let u equal tan of theta, because this is the form we're looking for, and du equals secant squared theta d theta, where this is going to end up being, after all the problems we've done, this is just going to be square root of 1 plus u squared is just going to equal secant theta. All right, so this is kind of getting to the end of the list of the problems, so we should know how to do these. All right, now let's go ahead and substitute back in our 0 and 1. So when u is 0, we're still going to get 0, but when u is 1, that's going to be pi divided by 4, because tan of pi divided by 4 equals 1. So what you're going to get now is, after you integrate that, you're going to get 1, or let's do substitution, 1 divided by, and this is just secant, so that's going to be secant theta, and du is here, so that's going to be times secant squared theta d theta. So this is going to end up crossing out, and you just have one secant left. So what we have is the integral from 0 to pi divided by 4 of secant theta d theta. Now, let's evaluate. And again, I already did a video on how to do this one. You're merely going to take secant of theta and multiply it by secant theta plus tan of theta divided by secant theta plus tan of theta. Simplify that and do substitution. So I did a video on that further, but you need to actually have this one memorized. So let's integrate this. This is going to end up being, once you do all that, ln of the absolute value of secant theta plus tan of theta. And then this is going to go from 0 to pi divided by 4. All right. Now, when you evaluate at pi over 4, you're going to get ln of secant of pi over 4 is going to be square root of 2 And tan of pi over 4 is 1. Minus secant of 0, so that put your ln. Secant of 0 is 1. So it's going to have 1 plus 0. And basically, this is just going to end up being ln of 1. Ln of 1 is just 0. So our final answer is ln of square root of 2 plus 1. And that's your final answer. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.